Deferring to higher authority. Now, this is a tactic that most of you will have come across if you've been in business for any amount of time. And, it's often used by buyers and sellers alike. Doesn't matter what role you're playing, where one would position the fact that, the decision in this case is not necessarily just up to you. It might involve some other people. It might involve your boss. It might involve some kind of committee or a board of directors. So, of course, what you want to do is make sure that you use this to your advantage in the context of your negotiations. And sometimes it might be a good thing for you not to have the ability to reach a decision without deferring to some higher authority, which means that you can relieve some of the pressure. In other cases, it might be very important for you to have a full mandate to be able to take a decision. Otherwise, your counterparts might not believe it worthwhile to negotiate with you. They might prefer to negotiate with those who have the authority to take the decision. So you've got to be a little bit careful and think a little bit about how you want to use it in the context of your negotiations. But it can be very useful if you're able to manage this to your advantage. Often this tactic is also combined with the good cop, bad cop tactic. So folks might position in a negotiation that you're better off negotiating with them because, look, if you're going to negotiate with my boss or with the finance director or with the chairman of the board, well, I tell you what, he or she, they're a very tough negotiator, very tough cookie, so you're better off negotiating with me. So if you're going into a negotiation, it's always a useful idea to find out whether people have the authority to take a decision, because of course if they don't have the authority to take a decision, you know that your negotiation cycle is just going to be longer, and you're probably going to end up having to repeat yourself when you do negotiate with the person or persons who have the higher authority. So a great way to check if somebody has the authority to make a decision is to ask them in the following way, to say, in addition to you, who else needs to sign off on this transaction or on this negotiation? It's a much better way than to ask them to say, listen, do you have the authority to take a decision? Because, of course, many people might see themselves as being in the position where they can't necessarily give the approval to go ahead, but they might be able to veto or to say no to your requests. And that might lead to a situation where somebody who doesn't really have the authority to say yes puts themselves in a position where they can prevent your progress. So much better way of asking whether somebody has the authority to take a decision is to say, in addition to you, who else needs to be involved in the decision-making process here?